The following is an introduction to OTDR. OTDR and Light Source Interface. VFL Red Light Interface. Optical Power Meter Interface. Flashlight. Type-C Charging Interface. TF Card Interface USB Interface. And on the bottom are the two network interfaces. Let's start the device. You can see these functions after booting. The device has dual wavelengths of 1310 and 1550. Can be tested with light. Supports automatic filtering of 1342 nanometers. 1490 nanometers, 1577 nanometers wavelength. Supports both macro bending and low light testing. At the same time, the optical power meter can support GFAT, EFAT, and pinched FAT. Power test. The following describes the OTDR function. Click on OTDR. Accessing the fiber under test. 2 kilometers plus 5 kilometers by side light. First, let's introduce automated testing. The test wavelength needs to be selected during automatic testing. Let's take 1310 and 1550 nanometer wavelengths as an example. The test wavelength needs to be selected during automatic testing. No need to select the test range pulse width. Click Test. Waiting for the test to end. You can see the current test light at 2 kilometers. There is a flange connection. Flange loss is 0.62 dB. At the same time, the curve can be enlarged and reduced by 1-to-1 reduction. Can list events. It's something that we can visualize. Switch to event list. Switch to 1310 curve 1550 curve. The following is the average test. The average test requires selection. Test range and pulse width. Click Test. Same test results. At the same time, we can also test wavelengths for some advanced settings. If you choose the test wavelength range pulse width time, whether to turn on high resolution mode, optical fiber refractive index, transmitting fiber receiving fiber, analysis threshold, eligibility criteria, save and other functions to set. Here's the event map. Event map is to put the OTDR curve. Display it graphically. Event mapping test. Just select the test wavelength. Let's take dual wavelength testing as an example. Waiting for the test to end. You can see a flange connection at 2 kilometers. The following is an introduction to visual fault location and red light function. We'll test fiber access to our red light interface. You can see that the red light is always on. The red light flashes once a second. Red light flashes twice a second. When there are light leaks in the test fiber, you can see that this is the light leakage point. The following introduces the function of the optical multimeter. Optical multimeters are divided into light sources and light loss tests. Let's take the light source function as an example. Connect the tested fibers to our OTDR interface and light source interface. On the other end is our optical power meter. Click to open. You can see the current size of 1550 nanometers power. The following describes the network testing function. Network testing is divided into line sequence, line length, and line seeking. Let's take the line finding function as an example. Connect the network cable under test to the network interface. Click Open to find our line hunting network cable terminal. You can hear the beep. It can be judged as the target network cable. End face detector function. Need to pair our end face inspection. After connection, you can determine whether there is stain on the end face of the optical fiber. The following describes the function of optical power meter. Same. Connect the test fiber to our optical power meter interface. The other end is plugged into our stable light source. After turning it on, you can see the current optical power value. Likewise, the current power value can be set as the reference value. Click Calibration to calibrate the power value. Settings. The date and time of the device are available. Set the switch language, etc. Smart Light Cloud function first turns on Bluetooth. Open the Wisdom Cloud. Then select Join Device. Check the name and MAC address. You can see the connection. After successful connection, it can be seen through the Wisdom Light Cloud. OTDR OPM can be realized. Red light and light sources. Read memory and other operations. Here is a demonstration of the OTDR function. Select OTDR. Click on Settings. Some settings of the OTDR can be changed. Waiting for the test to end, you can see some measurement information of the measured fiber and event mapping function. The same can also be analyzed. The following is an introduction to the red light function. At this time, you can see that the red light is always on through the mobile phone. The red light also flashes once a second. Red light flashes twice a second. Determine whether there is a light leak in the fiber under test.